Hello, Josh.
How's it going?
It's great to meet you, man, and congrats on all the success so far. You are talking to a Hostonian as well, so you have made our city proud for sure.
H-Town, baby.
Yeah, look, when was the last time you were here?
I'm there pretty often still these days. I go back and visit family pretty often. I was there a few weeks ago. I'll be there in a couple more weeks.
I love it. Hometown kid for sure. Grew up in Houston, Texas. How's your background really influenced your acting, and when did you really know you wanted to pursue this path?
yeah, it's an interesting question. I think not growing up in Los Angeles and all that really kind of was never in that world. I never considered myself an industry kid or anything like that. So I think it definitely helps you stay grounded in a way that I don't know if it'd be a lot more difficult if I was actually, growing up in LA and all that. But yeah, I think that does feed into the way I approach projects too, it is all just instinctive. I don't really have a really thought out technical process that I do. It's all just kind of instinctual. So I think it all feeds into one another.
Yeah, do you know the moment you wanted to become an actor? Was there a certain film or something maybe at school that kind of piqued your interest and you really wanted to really pursue this also full time?
Well, I didn't know I wanted to be an actor until I got my first acting role in Hellion. I grew up making home videos and I knew I wanted to be in the industry, but I always thought of myself as a director was what I wanted to do initially. So that was really what I always thought of. And then I kind of fell into acting. And then once I started doing it, I just kind of fell in love with it. So yeah, it's a weird process.
No, it's great. It's definitely like a one of a kind, process you went through. And, with this new film Armor, I had a blast watching it. Really didn't know what I was getting into. And not gonna lie, anything with Sylvester Stallone, like it's going to drag me in. Ever since I was a kid, anything that had Stallone's name on it was a huge draw for me. So at first, I just really got to know like your favorite Stallone movie.
Mm. I've been asked this before. I gotta say it's Rocky. I know it's a boring answer, but just the fact that, I mean, where he was in his career when he made that, the fact that he wrote it and directed it, I think. Did he direct Rocky?
The second one, I believe, not the first
The
one
second one.
initially.
Okay,
Yeah.
not the first one. But yeah, just the story behind that whole thing and how big it became for such a grounded kind of, simple movie, but simple in like a really good way. It's got to be Rocky.
No, I'm with you. That's probably one of my favorites. And it's not a boxing story. It's about finding love, finding your passion, being a man, and what it means to be a father. There's just so much to it. You can pick and choose your favorite Rocky movie, but they all have something to learn from. I absolutely love it. Obviously, Stallone is in this film. Any fun? I know he is there a little bit as well. Any crossing paths with him? Anything that you can share with us while he was there?
Yeah, what's funny, we only had one scene that we actually shot together. And I mean, he was just super nice. And I remember the first time when I met him, I had fake blood on my hands, which is not, it's very sticky and uncomfortable. And he went to shake my hand and I was like, oh, I shouldn't do this, but it was Stallone. I can't deny a handshake from the man. So I shook his hand and he goes, oh, a little sticky there. And I was like, oh, that was my first interaction with him. There's been better first impressions, but what are you gonna do?
Hey, it's a rare opportunity you get to work with Stallone, or just even meet him in general. So you got 2 for 2 right there.
Yeah, there you go.
He's one of my favorites for sure. So really impressive you got to do that with him. But also you share a lot of screen time with your on-screen father, Jason Patric, who I'm a big fan of as well. Did you grow up a Lost Boys fan?
I saw Lost Boys when I was fairly young, and I loved it. But yeah, that's mainly what I knew him from that and Alamo. But yeah,
he's been a lot of great stuff, but obviously everyone always, attaches him to Lost Boys. But what was it like building like that father and son chemistry with them? Because y'all have a lot of great scenes. Y'all's characters have a lot of history, and there's a lot of intense action and suspense involved in the film. So what was that like?
Yeah, it was good. It's funny. We actually didn't have a lot of time to prep before we were shooting. I think we did a kind of a brief read over half of the script, and then just kind of went right into it. But it kind of works because it's supposed to be an estranged relationship, and the characters are kind of finding it as they go, and we were kind of finding each other's styles as we went with our chemistry. So it was a happy accident.
I love hearing that. A lot of close up intense scenes, close quarters as general, any particular scenes that stood out to you or anything that you're excited for the audience to see? Because there's some really great action sequences as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely scenes that stick out that would probably be a spoiler if I announced them. But I mean, they're all. I mean, the whole process was just like nothing I'd really done. I mean, obviously, I've never really done an action movie. So just all the scenes in the armored truck when we're driving them, getting attacked from all angles. I'm screaming into a radio, sweating, we're shooting guns. It was such a cool experience that I hope I get to do again.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun movie and a lot of great cast there. But I've had a chance to talk to a couple of your former co-stars. You've had a chance to work with some amazing actors, that we've in Armor especially, but also Thomas Hayden Church and Juliette Lewis, who I got to speak to, and I had a blast talking to them. And so I wanted to ask you about your experience working with these two incredible actors. They're both so talented, and anything you took away with working with these two individuals.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky with who I've worked with, and the two people you just named I worked with them pretty very early on in my career. Juliette was in Hellion, the first thing I ever did, and then Thomas was in Max, which was the third thing. So I was still kind of getting my sea legs, and yeah, just being able to be around them and kind of see their process, especially with Juliette, just because I was so inexperienced, and her and Erin both, just kind of watching them have their own process in such a non-insecure way, just doing what you need to do to get to that point. It kind of made me feel comfortable and free to do the same thing. And to this day, I think I still use a lot of the same techniques that I saw them do on Hellion.
Yeah, I mean, you started young, you're still young, but you've worked with so many incredible actors, and I can only see your craft getting better and better working with the best in the business, right? You're always going to elevate yourself, and you also got to take things away from these great actors. So it's super exciting to see your career flourish, especially someone from Houston. It's super exciting to see someone who are rooting for you. So lastly, I got to ask Josh, what is next for you? What do you got going on for us that we can look forward to, hopefully, after Armor?
Nothing to announce yet. Just hopefully there's something around the corner. We'll keep plugging away. Just going to keep repping Houston. That's the goal.
I love that. Yeah, Josh Wiggins in Armor. It's definitely tons of fun. Great cast as well. And like I said, we're always rooting for you, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.